Come on, man. Look at that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm super excited because I'm gonna be making turkey dumpling soup. Now it's basically the same thing as chicken and dumpling soup, but it's very special to me because I harvested this turkey last year and I'm gonna be using the legs and the thighs from that turkey to make this soup. Now this is the meat that we're working with. You got the two thighs and the legs, and that's gonna be going into this huge stock pot right here. Now it kind of hurts me to say this. I just had chicken and dumplings for the first time in my life about like 3 or 4 months ago. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been living my whole life without this. Well, anyway, it's currently about 10 o'clock in the morning and I want to get this turkey and dumplings going because I want to eat it for lunch. To get started, we're gonna throw the turkey into the pot and then fill the pot up about halfway with water. And we're just gonna let that come to a boil, and then once the turkey is all tender and it can pull right off the bone, we'll be good to go. And then after that, all we gotta do is make the dumplings, and that's pretty much it. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this is gonna be quite a bit of soup. The main goal is to make sure that these turkey legs sit way down in the water. That's why I filled it up so much. Let's give one a test and see. Check that out. Wild turkey. It don't matter. This was a 24-pound bird. It was actually my first time killing a turkey. 24 pounds, 1-inch spurs at 40 yards away. All right, now we're gonna turn this guy. Now we're gonna cover it and let it go for, I don't know, 30, 35, 40 minutes or so, just until the turkey is tender and it can fall off the bone. As I was looking for recipes for chicken and dumplings, I looked over a ton of them. I watched YouTube videos, I was online looking at people's blogs and stuff, and there seems to be a huge divide on whether to add celery, onion, and carrots, and a huge divide whether slick dumplings or fat dumplings. Today I'm making the fat dumplings with no celery, carrots, or onions. So I think it's pretty basic. I don't know, I thought it was funny reading all these people's comments about how their grandma made their dumplings and whatnot. But I think I'm going pretty simple today. So you know, once this comes up to a boil, I'm gonna scrape off all those white bubbles. Those are just all the impurities from the turkey. So I'll grab a spoon and just skim all that off the top there. So while we're doing that, I need to get the stuff for the dumplings. Also, people make dumplings very differently as well. Not only the slick or the fat dumplings, but I've seen people just use liquid from the turkey stock. I've seen people use cream, oil to make their dumplings. There's a lot of options here. Oh, I also want to mention, I did add a bunch of salt into the pot here. Anyway. Well, I was just editing this video you're watching. I hear behind me something hitting the fire. I had this heat cranked all the way up to high and it all boiled over. Well, fun fact, I had this boil over once again. I think it was because I had the lid on there and it was keeping all that steam trapped, so it just eventually all boiled up. First glance, I'm gonna say they're not done, but I could be wrong. I'll tell you what, it's not fall off the bone, that's for sure. It's actually very tough. But that is what you get with wild turkey. Well, this meat's taken quite a bit longer to fall off the bone per se because it's a wild turkey and they got to run from their predators and they're like constantly on their feet. This is much different than turkey you would get from the store. The legs and the thighs are much more lean and it's a much tougher meat due to the fact that they are wild turkeys. I'm gonna let this go, I don't know, maybe 15 more minutes to see if it doesn't get any more tender. And if it doesn't, I'll probably just cut all the meat off the bones, get on with the process. Catch you then. All right, this sucker's been going for about an hour now. I'll tell you what, this turkey meat is way, way, way too tough still. I think I'm gonna cut all the meat off the bones and then throw it back in there and then just keep letting it boil away and do whatever it's gotta do because I think by the time I get to eating it, it should be tender enough. Well, that's what you get for all those legs and thighs. It took me like half an hour. I don't remember when I started, but. All right, now to our pot. Maybe 3/4 of a stick of butter. Just drop it right on in there. Now, you know what? We're gonna add the rest of it. Now to that, I'm gonna add, this is a quart of cream. Some of it was used. Got about this much cream left in here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump it on in there. So I think that's enough. Now we're gonna take some more salt. Just go ahead and season that to your liking. Not much measurements here. Now we've got some salt. Not salt, pepper, dummy. Same thing, measure with your heart. We got a lot of stock here. Now lastly, we're gonna add in our turkey. Go ahead and give this guy a mix. We'll continue to let this guy cook and simmer. And while we do that, we're gonna get our dumplings going. Now for our dumplings, we're gonna start off with flour. We're gonna do probably 2.5 cups or so, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Go ahead and give it a whisk. Now for our wet ingredients, 3 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm gonna use probably 3/4 to a cup of cream. You can use milk, you can use stock if you wanted to, just something to thicken up this dough. Start with that and see where that gets us. Now you don't want this to be too runny because we're doing like the drop dumplings. Just kind of work this together. Do a little more cream. Now I'm just gonna get in there and work it with my hands to make it a dough consistency. I may need a little bit more cream. I think this is looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of flour the work surface, dump this sucker out, just kind of bring it all together. Now I'm kind of going backwards, but I think it needs a little bit more cream. You need a little bit more dough consistency. It's still a little bit dry. That looks a little bit better. Now this is going to give us a ton of dumplings. That looks pretty good. Alright, now from here, we've got this coming to a little simmer here. Now all you're going to do is just pinch off some of this dough here into little balls. Just depending on the size of dumplings you want, that's how much you pinch off. Now these are going to probably about double in size. Now, since we got all those done, we're going to take our dumplings, take about half of them, and just drop them on in there. That's about half. See, they're starting to float now. Now, while those are all floating, we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of our dumplings, one at a time, just so they don't stick to each other. That's why you split it up into batches. Now, you see these ones floating here? Those are the ones I put in first. Those are starting to cook already. Give this guy a mix. And now we're just going to cover this and let it go for about, 5 or so minutes. So let those dumplings cook. While it's boiling, grab yourself some cold water and your cornstarch. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, add that right into your water there. And this is what's going to be used to thicken up this stock. If you want it thin, go ahead and keep it thin. But now we'll get ourselves a fork and just go ahead and mix this cornstarch into your cold water. Our dumplings have been in here for about 5 minutes or so, and look at them. Look at them suckers all puffed up. Now I'm gonna crank the heat to bring this back to a rolling boil, and then we're gonna add in our slurry of cornstarch and water. All right, now we're rolling boil. Go ahead and add in our cornstarch. Give this a mix. I'm gonna put the lid back on it and let that go for maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm also gonna turn the heat down. I don't want that rolling boil to continue. All right, time for the final reveal. Ready? Sheesh! Come on, man. Look at that. It looks delicious. Get my bowl a little closer. Y'all should have seen me trying to take this thumbnail because I'm over here like shaking trying to take this picture because I haven't eaten anything all day. I don't know. I hope this thumbnail doesn't suck. Give it a taste. I hope this turkey's like not so tough. The turkey's still a little tough, but it's not like impossible to chew through. Flavor is very good. I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. The inside of the dumpling is nice and soft. It's kind of chewy. The only thing I can complain about is the turkey is not very tender. If the turkey was tender, this would be spot on, but that's the one complaint I have. If you're making this recipe for yourself and you get a store-bought turkey or store-bought chicken, it's probably gonna turn out pretty dang good. If you do end up making this recipe, leave me a comment down below, let me know how you liked it. Well, with that being said, that's all I really have for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you want to see. Well, with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.